You gotta be cool, calm, collected, look, you feel.
Oh, cool.
posters.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to stay for a little bit or a long time, whatever you want.
I'm gonna go actually check out myself. Let's see if I
Okay.
I'm so sorry, baby.
No, you're okay. Share that screen. And okay, so this is what an interactive poster would look like. Basically, we're live on the web, and this is like a website that has been created, not necessarily a website, but it's put up like a website. And it's a substitute for the old school like poster board. Back in the day, you get a poster board and you cut out a few pictures and type a few lines and glue it all together, and it would come together and you would have a summary of what you learned. Well, an interactive board, I'm just going to show you an example and then kind of show you some basics on how I put this one together as a sample. And then I also have about 7 or 8 possible other uses that you could use. But I want to emphasize, just like all of the other, tools, your imagination is like the only thing that can limit you. You can do all kinds of things. You see here on the screen, the main part of this is a picture, and I have put icons on that picture, and these icons all could be pushed to reveal other information or go to videos, or you could do audio files or whatever you wanted, really. Okay? So this morning when I was making this for a demonstration, I thought, let's do one on chocolate, because chocolate's pretty cool. Okay? Everybody likes chocolate. So for my poster, I took a picture of a chocolate tree, and I just have some random things marked on here. I'll just show you how it works.
That's what a chocolate tree looks like?
Yeah, it really is.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So are the pods where the chocolate is? Or
That's
is that
absolutely, well, let me show you.
Oh, I'm
So
excited.
here is an
I
icon.
did this.
Here's an icon on these pods. And I'm like, what is that? So I'll touch that. Chocolate pod facts. Here's some facts. If I want to go back to the main one, I could say, oh, cool. Well, tell me a little bit about the tree. Here's the tree, and it talks about some of the facts that I have learned about chocolate trees. So I'm showing what I know about that. If I come back here, I'm like, what is this out here in the jungle? What does that mean? Oh, it's showing me where chocolate grows. I have a map that I found, and obviously I just kind of copy and paste a lot of this, but students would make their own, or their
And
own
they would be
information.
copying and pasting.
Well, yeah, right.
That's fine.
They're still have to find the
And
information.
Yeah, they are
I think that's
researching.
real.
They are researching
No, I'm
and
not saying
showing,
that's a bad thing.
organizing information in a different way. It's just a different way to show information. So you might look here and you're like, what? Oh, what is that exclamation point? Oh, here are some interesting facts that I found, and I've just listed them. I want to say here too, this was just for a 15-minute demonstration, so I just have text. But of course, as you link to things, you can link to other websites. I could have images, more diagrams, videos, things like that. I think this one is a video that will just start about the history of chocolate.
Cool.
And so,
So it's kind of interactive.
yeah,
So where did you start from scratch at? Did you use a?
I will show you that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's okay.
I thought
So
we missed that.
He's
No, you
showing
didn't.
us the product
I'm
first.
showing you the end
Ah.
product first, so you can kind of start thinking about it, and then I'll show you how.
See, that's what happened when we walked in.
You're okay. You're just fine. And so the last thing I had was some questions to discuss. So if I were a teacher, we might look at it and then say, hey, let's discuss these things, and we have some collaboration about it. Okay? And now you notice there's also, since for time, there was a secret icon there, but I'm not even going to show you what's that.
Oh, come
But
on.
no, I'm not going to show you.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
That's not
I
very fair.
That's against
So, anyways,
So
this
he's
is
going to
kind
link
of,
it to us so we have access.
no, I'm not going to link it to you either now.
Gotcha.
So this is kind of what an interactive poster looks like, just to kind of give you an idea. Now, here are some ideas that I thought might be some things, and I thought this might inspire you to think about your own class, like how could I use this? Wonder if you had this slide, this picture, and you're putting icons on there. You know, you could talk about plot of a story or character studies, whatever. Or if you had this one, you could talk about different places in the world, maybe events that are happening or landforms or things like that. Wonder if I pushed the wrong button. And wonder if I go back here and I say in math. We could show our
What are
learning
the
by
congruent angles?
marking congruent angles or something and putting definitions, what they are. I really
That's a good word for the day.
Thank you.
Angles.
What's the S word?
Supplementary.
Supplementary.
Good grief.
Those are
I'm
the
coming to
tools.
the keyboard.
That's why I know
And well, the
What's the
math on
angle of
that is the
complementary?
inscribed angles in the
Right,
pentagon, so
them. Congruent angles are just together, right?
no congruent angles have the same measure.
Okay.
They add up to 90?
No, they have the same measure.
See, how good I am. That's what I
You're
forget.
thinking
Good
complementary.
grief.
Complementary angles.
Complementary.
One, yeah.
Supplementary and complementary.
Here's some other ones. You could have a picture, you know, like a picture from a historical event or something like that. And you could put different things to mark and discuss. Graphs of any data. And here I put a chemical compound. You could tell you're learning about that. And then, of course, you know, maybe an animal, body parts of an ant or something like that, or locations on the moon, or here's Congress, and you could put icons there and you could say all sorts. Anyways, really the possibilities are endless. You could do a billion different things with these. So the question was asked, where did I start with this?
Slides.
I did just start with slides. Now you could do this with Google Drawings, but I chose to use slides because of how I linked it. Now you could see this is the whole slide deck that our first website was made from. And what I did was I just linked each dot or icon went to a different page in the slide deck.
And you just numbered it, so it just this one goes to page 4, this one
Yeah.
goes to page 5.
So
But his secret slide's on a.
the secret slide, yeah, well, no, it just is, that's a link to an exterior video of me dancing while making chocolate in Costa Rica. But I'm not going to
It's
show it
worth
to you. Yeah,
seeing.
no, I
It's
do not
worth
have to.
seeing.
So, yeah, well,
Did you use the?
oh, you have no
Did
idea.
you use the mortar and pestle? And
I used it all, baby. So we have 7 minutes left. So
We want
I would love to answer any questions related to building this.
building chocolate.
Yes.
I know.
What is your question?
So how do you get the,
Perfect. How do I get the icons?
yes.
So as I'm in, if I wanted to add an icon, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Explore tool, and I can get it here or up here under Tools, Explore. I'm just going to click the Explore tool down here. And let's say I just used star icon image. Is all I typed in. And it brings it up here. And this is probably the one I picked, right? I'm like, yeah, insert that image. It's going to come up giant, and then, but since I'm in slides, I can resize it, move it around, put it where I want. Now you can see that at first this is linked to the actual website of the image. But if I want to change that to go to a different slide or something, I go change. If I wanted to go to, maybe I had a document where I wrote a whole report, I could put the URL for that document. If there was another website, I could do that.
Would that be a Google document or any?
Yeah, a Google document. Or if the way I got to other pages on my slide deck was I just started typing slide, and you can see it says slides in this presentation, and you can tell it where to go. Okay? And
So
so,
before you can link them, you have to have the whole presentation done.
yes, so you would make all of your different pages of information and then put the links in these. So I could say, I want that to go to the history of chocolate, and then apply. And now if I were to click on that, it goes instantly to the video, The History of Chocolate. Now, you'll see all of them, since I was going to put it on the web, I put this little go home button, and all of these link back to the first page.
And you even have a home button on the first page.
And I even have a home button on the first page. I just wanted to make it the same so every page looked the same. And I kind of made this one big so it kind of stood out.
Is that another icon or?
It was an icon. I just put home icon image,
And then you just linked it to the first slide?
and I linked it to first slide. And so, maybe this would be something if I was in a class and I wanted to do an introduction to a topic or something. I could say, hey, explore this about chocolate for a while, and in 15 minutes, we're going to go to these discussion questions and talk about what you learned, or you and a partner are going to answer these discussion questions and say what you learned. And, that way you could let the kids kind of explore a little bit. That would be a way a teacher could use this that they created. But I think it's also great to,
It's a good sponge thing.
yeah,
Start off
absolutely.
with, yeah.
But and then it's also, you could consider if it's something you want kids to make one.
Yeah.
And it's just a different it's just a different option and a new way for kids to show learning and for people to explore. This might be like a really broad type picture, and you put several different links to interesting websites about a unit that's coming up. So kind of maybe the students are previewing the unit. I think it's really important to always have some questions to kind of focus what they're doing or kind of give them some accountability, and give a time limit. So say, hey, yeah, click around on this forever or for 15 minutes or whatever, and then we're going to come back and discuss this. Just like I showed you in some previous weeks, when I was ready to make it the website or the URL, I just went to File and said Publish to Web. And that's, when I did Publish to Web,
So did you put that in like the Google Classroom for them to go to?
so when I publish it to web, it makes this URL, which is basically a website. And this is what I would put on Google Classroom. And when they click on it, they're going to come to here.
So they're the only ones that can access it though. Like, so if you publish it to the web, it doesn't mean that like some kid in Nicaragua can.
Some kid in Nicaragua,
Could get it.
if they typed in all of this, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a long shot that they
So-
get that. But yeah, anybody.
What happens if a student creates the interactive poster? How do they share it? How do they share it?
Good question. So if the student creates one, so let's say this was a student-created item, they would just say, there'd be a couple options.
Uh-huh.
If they wanted to share it just as a slide deck,
Uh-huh.
they could just go share, just turn in the slide deck,
Okay.
and when you present, you're going to come to the front page like this. Or if you wanted to make it more accessible outside of the classroom, they also could go publish to web.
Okay.
And they would get a unique URL that would go directly to their interactive poster. So we just have 1 minute left. I just want to say thanks for coming.
Not that clock.
You got 4 minutes left.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe we should average
Your clock
clocks.
is right.
We have 3 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, see, yeah, average clocks.
Can I just
So-
ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Down here in the bottom, there's that plus icon.
Yeah,
Is
this.
that where you're going to find your icons?
Yes.
And the different websites and stuff that you're.
Right. Now, I could even go another step with this. I could say chocolate tree, and it automatically brings me to relevant websites. I can get more images inside of my Google Drive. Here's a nice image of the inside of the fruit. Yeah, before it's dried. So you can get a lot of things there. To get the icons, which is kind of what's fun about making an interactive poster, I just inserted the word icon.
Icon.
So
Okay.
yeah, so just,
So it takes you to a web page of icons.
I just go home icon image, for example, and then it just pulls up all these. And if you hover over it, you get the little plus. So yeah, I want to use that one. And then you can place, these are regular images, so you could shrink it down even smaller if you wanted. And to tell you the truth, James, after I made one, all I did was I just copied and then pasted another one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have the same
But then you
Star.
can still do the image change, the
change where it directs
change
to.
where it directs. You can still do that if you copy and paste.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone you have that option to just kind of,
Excellent questions.
right. Yeah, they are great questions. So hopefully this is a new idea that's interesting for you or your students. And
I haven't used slides ever. I mean, I was taking a college course and I tried to use Google Slides because we just got in Google.
right.
And I was so lost, I went back to Windows because I knew how to use it and felt comfortable with it. But, and then I thought everybody in my group would be using slides and we wouldn't be able to mix them. And everybody
Right.
else went back to Windows too because they didn't know it very well.
I think that's natural to kind of go to what you know kind
Yeah,
of
it
thing.
was last year at the beginning of the year or something.
But, and I want you to know too, I don't expect everybody to do every single project. What I'm hoping is you'll remember, maybe down the line, you're like,
No, I have to write every single word you say down because I will not remember its
Just
full
get in and
age.
play with it.
No.
Well-
It's nice because I can come back in my drive and go, oh yeah, this is